up
Everybody's
there.
so hospital.
Speaking of the hospital, that's why I didn't go, right?
Yeah.
Are we gonna recap on that there?
I had a baby. Everybody, you ready?
I think so.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Baton Motorsports Podcast. We got some of the same crew as usual. Not only do we have some, but we have less than some, and we've had more than some before. And this
Math.
time we have about the same amount as the last time we had some. So if you don't know who these people are, then watch previous podcasts and figure it out. Real quick, I want to start off by thanking Cutwater. Cutwater is one of our main sponsors here for the podcast. We also have Off the Grid now. Thank you, Josh. You guys are, we wear your stuff all the time, and we're stoked to have you on board with the podcast. So everybody check out Off the Grid, check out Cutwater. And the last thing I want you to check out real quick is our new website. We have a brand new website, bentonmotorsports.com. So please go check that out and, see what you think.
We've got all kinds of events and stuff on there too. It's not just, the old website was a bit outdated, so this new one has got a lot of time and effort put into it, and a lot of cool stuff to check out for sure.
Yeah, and you can actually buy things on it, which is cool now. Do we have apparel up yet? I don't think we have apparel up yet.
We don't, but we do have a secret podcast code for a discount.
Ooh, that's right. The podcast code, hang on. I know what it is. Don't anybody tell me.
It's that much of a secret.
Hang on. I got to squint.
Do you need my glasses too, or
Should I move the whiteboard over?
Do you want me to tell them what it is?
Yeah, you're going to have to because I can't see it from here.
Okay, so to clarify, we've got all kinds of cool stuff on the website. We've got lockers, suspension, lighting, pretty much everything you could think of. We're a vendor for all of your favorite brands already as it is. So we've got a discount code for podcast viewers only. That is Cutwater10. Cutwater, like the drinks that we're drinking. It's just Cutwater10. That'll get you 10% off everything on our website.
Rad. That's a pretty good deal.
I think so.
And we'll be doing these different types of things. If you go with us to, if you look at our events page on there and you see Tony Tuesdays, which is coming up, the next one's June 13th. We might give out a promo code while we're at Tony Tuesdays. You never know. We might have a featured item that we're trying to push. And you guys can let us know too. We just built the website. We're just now getting, all the products on there. So if there's something that isn't on there that you want, call us, let us know. We can get it for you, and then we'll add it to the website. There's just so many products out there in the world that it's hard to know where to start. So we've kind of started with the stuff that we use regularly and the products that we really like. We're not really going to put anything on there that we don't, we wouldn't use ourselves.
But that'll still cover everything from a basic build to double throwdown kits where you can romp
Absolutely.
anything.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
It
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
literally covers everything that you could want.
If you
Yeah.
go to the price range on our website, it goes anywhere from 60 cents to like $16,000.
Yeah, if you want yourself a set of Curry 1-tons.
what is 60 cents on our website?
Some hardware.
Yeah, I think Cole put a bolt on there. It's a washer. My son is helping us with the website, and I think one of the products he put on there was it's a Dana
It's a diff
bolt,
bolt. Yeah.
a diff bolt or something for Dana, and it's like 60 cents. He just was curious to see how many people would buy it. So if you can find it, that's pretty funny. I'll make Cole ship it to you personally. He'll give you a free sticker with
We're going
that.
to sell like 5,000 of those bolts.
Well, let's just jump right into some stuff that's been happening this week. Kevin ran up to Terra, the Terra event this last
Speed metal,
weekend.
right?
Yep, speed metal.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that. How was that?
So that thing is, it was super rad. We started off, my daughters and I, in San Diego and rushed up to Adelano, and it's like right where the Grand Prix used to start, if you guys are familiar with that, with the old moto races. And just from miles away, you can just see smoke and dust. They had a drift course going on at the same time as different classes for like off-road racing, buggies, stuff like that. And my daughters and I roll up, and all of a sudden they just cover their ears because they're like dancers, right? They don't know loud noises.
And how
stuff
old
like
are
that.
they?
11 and 8.
11 and 8. There you go.
About to be 11 and 8. and they do the dance gymnastics thing. And as soon as we get out of the car, they're just where it's right where the drift line starts, right? And the ref tells them to go, and they're just covered in smoke. And my youngest is like, "Oh my God, I hate this!" Right? We walk to like where everyone is actually launching, and immediately a driver waves at her, and she goes, "I want to be a drifter, Daddy!" Right? So we start walking in. All the vendors were there, super rad, and the capability of the drivers in such a small closed course, and just the environment of everyone there to watch that. Street and dirt are two completely different realms, essentially, right? But everyone there has a passion and addiction for driving, things that are motor driven. And it was such a cool event, and everyone was so nice. It was pretty hot. It was like 90 something, but they had food and water and like snow cones and
What was it?
stuff
What
like
was
that.
that?
What was that?
Was it? We're,
Yeah, order a sip of your cut water.
so if you guys don't know, Kevin is from the other side of the United States, and they don't say water over
It
there.
doesn't matter. Him and I are both from the same place, and I do not say water.
Who's been here longer?
Him.
Oh,
I've been
Yes.
here
Oh.
since I was 18 because I was at Pendleton.
What year did you move here?
I'm pretty sure.
2004.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure if
right
you
after
Got me
high
by
school.
2.5 years.
Hey, he's just holding on to it, dude. Water.
I'm trying.
if
not
you go
to.
back to our
You
old
were-
podcast, I'm pretty sure we rip on him in other podcasts for saying word.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so that is a point proven that you are not trying to stop saying water.
All right. So anyway,
All right, so-
So
so-
anyway,
Hold on, let me put my heart back together. So the
We don't
Terror
care.
event, I know. We just need to walk around with video cameras all day. Actually, no, that'd be
Yeah.
really bad.
That would be horrible.
But it was super busy. But what I was kind of bummed about is my daughters and I got there at like, I'll say civilian time, like 2 o'clock, right? So BJ
Civilian
Baldwin already flipped the Ford.
did you high five him?
No, I
No?
didn't see him.
Oh,
I don't know if I can even talk.
Oh, you
about
weren't
this.
there for that?
No,
I'm
this-
upset.
okay.
there was a lot that happened in the beginning, right? The stoke, the excitement of the event going on. I don't know how many they've had up there, or maybe this was the first one.
I think that was the first time they did it there.
They've
Yeah.
done several events, but this is the first time not just Terra, but really anybody in our industry, if you will, has combined the dirt and kind of street scene that I know of, or at least
Yeah.
recently. I think it's super rad that they're making the effort to kind of like join those two worlds because they're
Yeah.
already so close. Like
Yeah.
It was an epic combo. So we kind of missed a lot of excitement, but looking at my daughter's art in the street fair was pretty rad too. But missed that. It's a good accomplishment. But we missed some of that. But even from 2 p.m. on was like the event just started. People, like any event, roll in, roll out. They do what they want. They leave. So missed some of that stuff. But even the off-road racing that was going on afterwards was like right next to the street. So even if you didn't go into the event, you just saw
Yeah.
trucks ripping corners. It was a really good time, and been in contact with a few of those guys because everyone's so hospitable up
Everybody's
there.
so hospital.
Speaking of the hospital, that's why I didn't go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we gonna recap
it.
on that there?
I had a baby.
That's so
But you
unbelievable.
still
Your
look
stomach
like you're
hasn't
about to have
changed
a
in
baby,
shape
so
at
that
all.
doesn't get- yeah.
Well, your water did break.
He
Yeah,
had
my
his-
water broke on my
Hey.
knee, and my knee had a
Yeah.
baby.
He had a
Yeah.
cesarean. Give him a break.
Yeah. So it was a rad event.
Yeah, it was
I'm super
super
bummed
rad.
I couldn't go up there. I really wanted to go to it.
Well, they want us to go to the next one.
I tried to sneak out of the
So-
hospital, and they wouldn't let me. They tackled me.
I
but
believe it.
I would have gone. For sure would have gone.
I visited you.
He did. He visited me in the hospital. So I just injured my knee. That's all it was. I injured my knee, and then I got like an infection in my knee, so they had to keep me in the hospital and pump a bunch of antibiotics in me. Super dumb, whatever. But Kevin did come to visit, and it was super awkward. He got there right when I was getting my bath.
It was so good.
So
He brought you a teddy bear, though.
Dude,
he brought me a teddy bear, and then he helped me go to the bathroom.
He goes by his door, right? You hear him talking shit in the hallway because that's just what he does. So Shelly and I are looking at each other like, he doesn't know I'm here, right? She's like, no. Because you were in surgery when I got there.
That's
You
right.
weren't supposed to be yet.
Yeah.
He goes carting by the door, looks in his room, and I'm just sitting there on his bed. smiling, direct eye contact.
Mind you, I'm like 5 minutes out of surgery.
Dude, and he goes, "Who let that fucking guy in?" And then it's like a movie. He goes back past the door, and they just leave him there against the wall until they get him ready to cart in. So I just go out there, and I'm just like, "Come here, dude." You know?
I think
couldn't
I
have
asked
been
the
any
nurse
better.
to kick you out.
Yeah.
I was like, can we kick him out, please?
I give him a little Marine Corps bear, and then I left because I
Yeah.
just was really tired of.
I
looking
slept with
at
that
you.
bear for the next 4 days. Yeah, me and that bear, we're tight now.
Yeah, just like you and JJ.
JJ,
Oh.
it was my birthday the other day, and Curtis got me a beta fish for
Is
my
he still
birthday.
pumping?
He's still alive.
He's
Shelly, again, shout out to Shelly. She's saving JJ right now.
I didn't have JJ, the beta fish, for more than 6 hours, and he was going to die, so my wife had to confiscate him and bring him home.
No, he was struggling before you got to work that day.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
He's good now. He's doing really good, and we'll bring him back to the shop tomorrow. We got it all. Shelly got me all trained up and figured out.
This fish is gonna be so used to being transported via vehicle by like week 3 that
Right.
it's just gonna be like, where are we going, guys?
Yeah, he went from
You
pet
put it on the
store
dashboard of the
to
motorhome,
stick
on your
shift
way to the
manual,
desert.
XJ
So dumb.
to
Yeah.
here.
How did you get that thing here in your Jeep? Where did you put it?
Behind my seat.
Oh my god.
I put it on the ground, and then I wrapped it in like a towel, and then I took the tank box and put the box next to it, kind of squeezed it between that and the tunnel. It was secure. I kept looking back.
Hit the
you
speed
know?
bumps as fast as you could,
You're
dude.
And then, but
Terrifying.
you took like half the water out so it wouldn't spill, right?
Yeah.
I'll say
yeah.
that.
And then when he
Turns,
got
it
here,
kinda
he turned
stays
on the
level.
hot water faucet and filled it back up.
Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, I was more concerned about water leaking in my Jeep than the fish.
Well,
Oh
yeah.
my.
And then he
Beta
slept
fish
in
is
his
like
taco
25
for a
cents.
few hours.
But we were fine. That was, I mean, the fish was fine when I left.
Well, okay.
It was a busy couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But why
Yeah.
did you get a fish anyway? Did we say that?
It was my birthday. I said it was my birthday.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
his
Your
birthday.
birthday
balloon right
B-day.
back
I
there.
put your sign up.
Oh, it's my birthday. It's my birthday day.
It's your happy birthday day.
Birthday day.
Kevin, do you mind if I clarify really quick? You did not get to see the flip when you got to the
No, I
dinner.
did not.
It had already happened?
It already happened.
Oh my.
Did you get to see the aftermath?
No, nothing.
They already
we
carted it
saw a lot of cars spin out. One hit the plastic orange barriers. That was pretty much.
These are the drift
extent of it.
guys, though?
Drift
The burnout drift guys?
Yeah, burnout drift guys. The off-road course was set across the street, and they had it all coned off. So if you were to go over there, you had to be a part of that crew. Maybe there were spectators allowed in a different section of the course earlier, but I just stood on the side of the road with the girls and
That's
kinda
rad.
captured what I could. But,
That's pretty cool.
What's even more rad, like I was saying, is those guys with one of our reels that we posted liked our perspective of their event. So they invited us to kind of get a little more in-depth
That'd be fun to be a
video
bigger part
and
of it
more
with them
involved.
next
Yeah.
year. That'd be fun.
So really excited for that. At any of their events, which is
Yeah.
super cool. So thank you guys.
Well, yeah. Thank you, Terra Crew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks to your crew.
I was just going to say, because we keep referencing this and not explaining what we're talking about at all. So if you're not familiar with what happened, right? BJ
Yeah.
Baldwin, who we all pretty much know by now, is a character of a driver, got to drive, or was allowed to drive Kyle Crafts custom
Beautiful.
1978 beautiful
That's his
F-250.
co-driver.
I know. I'm just saying, like, it was a lot.
It's not
But-
like it was just some random guy. I was like, here,
No,
like,
not at
here's
all.
your keys.
Not at
Like,
all, and that's what you sign up for when you
Yeah.
have somebody else drive your vehicle. Absolutely, in any context. But just so you know what we're referencing, that he drove it and was going around the drift course, and he rolled it pretty good. And that's a pretty well-known, expensive, custom, perfect
pretty.
truck. So,
So
it's hard to watch.
But there's a lot of variables in that also, not just the talent of the driver, right? How hot it was, maybe the ground was sticking to the tires different than it was an hour prior when they were ripping the course. Like
That's
sure.
just shit happens.
everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shit
That's like
happens.
kind of the end all of the story is shit happens.
Shit
Shit
happens,
happens,
for sure.
Whatever. What are you going to do, you know?
Yeah.
You're going to have a high-performance vehicle. Eventually, you're going to fuck it up.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no one's like blaming BJ at
No.
all. That was
No.
not my intent, because that's not the case. That's part, like you were saying earlier, that's part of any type of racing, whether it be
Yeah.
off road or anything. Dude, honestly, like,
Because she's a Ford girl. Look at her shirt. What is this?
Oh, it's an F100.
it's got Mike OBS on Instagram, his F100 on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I must admit, like,
Which was also rebuilt, by the way.
Yeah, and if you want this apparel, you can go find Hannah on her social media. I have no idea how to do that, but apparently she sells this stuff.
if you'd like some cool old school Ford or I-Beam merch, my Instagram is Hurricane Felton. If you click the website link in my bio. I sell some cool
Hurricane Co.
Ford things. Thank you,
And they are
Matt.
mad comfy.
You're welcome.
They are comfy as hell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did not compromise with quality. Let me
So
tell you
comfortable
that.
they make you angry.
But to follow up what you're saying, yeah, I must admit, like, that's a truck that I followed for a while. Like, I am an avid watcher, follower of that dude, of Kyle Kraft. And to watch that video, it was genuinely painful. And I feel for him a lot. I saw so many videos over the weekend that are like, F100 rolled, F100, but it's like, it's not even an F100, actually.
It's all. Is it all glass? No, the roof is all steel.
It's an
I was
F-250.
gonna say it's an F-250.
It's a Ranger. It's a F-250
Ranger,
Ranger.
yeah.
So before, like, what we know as a Ranger was
Right.
a thing. It's an F-250 Ranger. It's a 78.
I was gonna say 78. Yeah.
But
Was it a camper special? Do you know what the camper special is?
I actually don't. What is that?
They have a little side cabinet on the side, and it's like storage compartment between the cab and the rear wheel.
You can stop right there. I want one.
And they also
Yeah.
have a special
Doing the
location
sick.
for a spare tire, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Wow.
Yeah, look up camper special. It's pretty
All right.
dope.
They're
I'll put a
sweet.
photo on the screen.
There you go.
But yeah, that was hard to watch. That thing, like I said, I pay attention to that guy, and he had full like custom fiberglass made front to rear for that thing. Like he built it with his dad. Like there was some heart.
Well, the
and
good
soul.
news is then there's molds for it, and you can make new fiberglass.
I guess, but still, like it's hard to watch.
How much money's he got wrapped up into that thing? Do they have a value on it? Do we know?
I saw a few quotes around like $300,000, which I totally believe, but
that's
still,
too legit.
that's a lot. He's put a lot into that truck. I saw a video recently of him talking about that. Like after he had it like built, he had it detuned, right? So it's not like gnarly, right? And the reason that he did that, sorry if I'm misspeaking, this is just what I saw in a video, is that he had it detuned so he could take it to Mexico and run pump gas, right? So he said that on pump gas, he's around 850 horsepower, which is still
sick.
still
Yeah,
a
it's
ton,
insane.
right? That's still gnarly. But he said on race fuel, I think still not, I don't know. I don't want to speak out of turn, but on race fuel, he's well over 1,000 horsepower. Like, and that's, I think,
What engine did he put in it? Do we know?
I'm gonna say, what else about the vehicle besides the fiberglass and the horsepower? Because I personally don't.
Probably
I
a
know the
Maruzi.
vehicle, but not
It's-
the specifics.
it's not, I'd have to look it up. I can't remember what it's called. It's something that I'm truthfully not familiar with, but I was just.
It's not like a
watching-
modern Ford engine, like a Coyote or
No,
something.
it's like I said. I'd have to look it up because I don't want to give any misinformation. But
It's probably whoever BJ has as a motor builder, I would imagine,
Oh,
because
most
he's
likely,
his
right?
he's his co-driver. So I would
Yeah.
imagine whoever BJ has, that's who built the motor.
I
would
can
imagine.
look it up. But either way, it's.
And
David's
regardless
doing
of the
some
money,
research.
if he built it with his dad, and just in general, the amount of time that went into that vehicle itself, and all the
Dude.
stages it went through, and everything, like it was.
Okay, so
like you said,
here, I'll tell you what it
painful to
is.
watch.
This is the truck, right?
Yeah, that's him.
Okay, so it's a 78 Ford F-250 Ranger extended cab, built by Chris Allen of Allen Motorsports, San Juan Capistrano. Dugan's?
That's what it is.
Dugan's Racing Engines, big block Chevy, 850 horsepower, the rear wheels. So it's a custom Chevy big block. So what are we thinking? Probably like a 454 or something? Maybe?
Yeah, it could be bigger.
Could be bigger.
502, something like that.
Custom made 180-degree headers, Rancho drivetrain 4L80E with a reed case, twin I-beam front suspension, 4-link rear, King Shocks 3.0 coilovers, and 4.0 bypasses all around. BF Goodrich 40, 12.517s, Ultra wheels, 103 Extreme beadlocks. Started in early 2017, finished in late 2019. And he races 600 class, 6100 class, number 6102.
I watched a few videos that say that the finding parts for like a F-250 like that, even though it's extremely similar and close to the F-100, is a lot more difficult than finding just like regular F-100 parts because the F-100 is more sought after. But it comes down, which is weird because it comes down to a lot of like really small differences, like just like the frame itself is the same frame, like lengthwise, widthwise, but the actual like gauge of the metal is like ever so slightly thicker, which somehow makes the
On
parts.
the 78?
Yeah,
Does
no,
that
no,
truck
on the
actually have a
F-250
frame
Right,
underneath
because
it?
versus an F-100.
Probably because the F-250 Ranger was it's meant to have a big old like camper on the back.
Yeah, it was meant to
like,
tow.
Yeah.
That's what the
tow,
whole-
like
Well, like
Yeah.
you guys know Ford engines. So my truck, we're getting ready. You guys are going to put in a new engine in my 97 F-250 heavy duty. And that's a 351 Windsor engine. Okay. So you heard of the 351 Cleveland engine, right? So you know the difference between the two? Other than that one was made in the Windsor plant and one was made in the Cleveland plant? Okay, so everybody wants the Cleveland engine, right? Like
Yeah.
when I had my Mach 1, I had a 73 Mach 1, I had a Cleveland engine in it. And the benefit of the Cleveland engine was the iron ore and the metal that was going to the Cleveland factory had a higher nickel content in it than was going to the Windsor factory. So all the blocks
Wow.
that were coming out of the Cleveland factory had way more nickel in them and were much stronger. So guys were boring them out and using them in drag racing because they wouldn't throw, they wouldn't crack the block as easy. So I mean that's literally like when somebody says, like back in the days when they were looking for Cleveland blocks, is because they just were naturally stronger blocks just because of how they were making them and the material that was supplying the Cleveland factory. So when you hear you got a 351 Cleveland, it's like, ooh, that's the better block, versus the Windsor block. And literally the only difference is the content of the metal used to create the block.
Was that something that was like discovered? Did they know that right away back
No.
then, or is it just like something that like people discovered?
They just would
like-
realize that, hey man, every time I get a Windsor block, I blow the fucking thing up doing the quarter mile. But every time I get a Cleveland one, I get like 10 passes.
And so that small of a difference will make that large of a
Apparently.
difference?
You can fact check me. I may be totally full of shit, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Sounded pretty solid.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Well, think about the moto world. Like how they changed from like steel cylinders to nickel back in the day. Like steel was crap. So,
Yeah.
Well, even the sleeves that they put in are nickel.
Right. Yeah. Nickel plated cylinders and all that.
Well, you guys heard of hydroforming? How they make the frames now on the trucks? They're all hydroformed versus bent, right? They used to bend the metal, right, to see channels, and that would, stress the metal. So they hydroform the chassis now. So what they're doing is they're putting them under pressure of water, and the water pressure forms the chassis to the shape, so that all the metal molecules stay put. So that in all the bends on the chassis are just as strong as the straight parts of the chassis.
But I mean, is that really a fail point normally?
Sure.
Couple zones.
Absolutely.
Is it?
On the Gladiators, didn't they have frame issues at bend points for exactly that?
No, they had frame issues. I believe the Gladiators and the jails had frame issues because of a robot welder was out of calibration.
We
for
just fixed one of
okay.
those.
specific number of
blue one, right?
serial
Yes,
numbers.
we have the Jeepers in the back of the shop right now.
Yeah,
They
so when-
had a known problem where there was
Yeah.
I guess what do you want to put it, like a miscalculation?
Yeah, the robot welder was calibrated to weld right here instead of an eighth of an inch over here, and it would miss part of the bracket, and then the bracket would break off.
So how did you
so
guys
the-
fix that?
for the real coil springs.
Jake actually designed a gusset kit for it,
And
which
we-
we now have
Yeah.
saved. And
Yeah, we
anytime
cut them
need
on
to do it, we
the
can cut it
plasma
out.
table, and we can reinforce and completely redo that for anybody who has that problem.
So is that something that's going to be on the Bent Motorsports
Yeah,
website?
yeah, as soon as
And
we
can
finalize
talk
it.
More.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to try it on a few more vehicles. It's
Yeah.
hard to find the vehicles because I think a lot
It's
of them
very
have been-
early.
Yeah, and they got recalled, and I think they got fixed by a lot of them got fixed by Jeep. I'm
that-
pretty sure.
That's
Yeah.
another. That's
So it's
another
hard to
thing.
find 'em.
I don't think people really realize that we're just not a bolt-on accessory type of shop, right? Your custom wiring prior to this,
Yeah.
right? The fabrication and knowledge that Hunt has on everything CAD is miraculous, honestly. We are a fully capable shop to build whatever.
Yeah. Now that being said, you come in with a Toyota 4Runner and you want me to build you a high end like
Jeep
front
stuff.
bumper. I mean, a Jeep. So you come in with a Jeep and you say, "Hey, David, I got this brand new Gladiator. I want this type of bumper." Again, I'm more than happy to make that bumper for you. But what you're going to find is that there's 40 companies out there that make a bumper that's really close.
Yeah.
And if you're going to pay me to make you a custom fab bumper, you're going to pay Huntsinger to make a drawing,
Yep.
do all the measurements, create a file for it, cut it. Like you got to pay for all the R&D because I'm not in the business of making that one bumper and then saying, okay, and then mass producing 500 of those bumpers, right? It's
Or
going to be
having
a
a
one-off.
robot do it.
Yeah, it's going to be one-off. So you're going to pay one-off prices, and usually we can help you find a way better option.
Yeah, the money is in the mass-produced stuff,
Yep.
and we're
Yeah,
not
which we're not
there
going to.
yet.
We're not interested in
We're
being a
in
mass-produced shop.
a nice little custom one-off game, and
Yeah.
there you don't want to pay for that.
So if you do want to pay for some one-off custom, really nice shit, I'll do it for you, 100%. My past, I've restored a lot of cars, and thankfully it hasn't happened to me. But I know other places that restore cars, and you go get this $250,000 Camaro done, and you're test driving it, and the brakes fail, and you slam it into a freaking light pole, and you're like, well.
Like that one
That
there's
sucks.
video that red. What was it like a?
Oh, where the guys all broke their arms and everything.
Yeah, dude, that was brutal. They had that.
The guy took like
full-on
7
POV
years
shot.
to build that car.
Yeah.
Well, even when I was working at my last job, the Hot Rods and Customs place, we had helped them with a oh god, what was that? It was like a 41 Ford sedan, beautiful, amazing car, and guy came by like right after they got it running. Interior wasn't done yet. Takes it for a spin and clips a car on the side of the street. The
Yeah.
first time he pulls out of the shop with it.
Yep.
You know, like unfixable type fenders where like it's got to come. You got to pull the whole front of that car apart
Yeah.
and body work all that back and fix all that because you're not getting another one of those fenders. Like just some gorgeous car and
Yeah.
Have you
This-
seen
too much power
And
for
this is
him.
why
And he wasn't
Curtis-
ready for it.
This is why Curtis drives an XJ.
Yeah, exactly, because you can just run that thing into stuff over
matter.
and over again, and it doesn't
Like that
matter.
Crown Vic.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck that.
What
Wait,
about
wait.
the videos where like a car gets delivered to somebody
Oh.
after a full resto, and it's like open carrier or
It just
on the
rolls
double
off.
deck, and it
Falls
just
off.
goes.
Yeah, that's
That would hurt
not
me more.
great.
I
than
watched
if I
that
were to do it
happen
myself.
at working at the Harley dealership so many times. You wouldn't believe how many tow truck drivers drop a brand new bike that has like 5 miles on it, and the 5 miles are just from moving it from like production out to the showroom to the truck, and they just drop it and total it. Like
I bet it happened to my father.
So dumb.
Insanely custom chopper, loading it into the trailer while it's raining out back east, and the guy fell over with it.
David, I
Dinged up
think
the tank, tore the whole bike up, and it's an unreplaceable one-off paint job that you
Yeah.
can't just redo.
I think you're the only one that knows about this. Actually, do you remember when my grandpa's '72 C10 got delivered out here from Philly?
Yeah.
So they bring it on an open carrier. It needs work, right? It's from 2005 or something like that. And they loaded it up with a forklift because it has a non-running 305 in it and no brakes. So they loaded it up with a forklift, and you sign the documentation saying, hey, you're going to pay more money because it doesn't run, doesn't stop. They put it on the top, all the way in the back, so ass end to the cab of the truck with no way to get it off. So my buddy had to drive his FJ, lifted steel bumper to the front, making contact with the nose of the Chevy. And I'm in the driver's seat, and this dude who drove the truck from Philly wanted nothing to do with it. And I just had to, let off and hold the wheel as straight as I could and basically make contact with the FJ, completely crushing my core support, my hood, the whole front end of the Chevy getting off the trucks, just bouncing, crush, crush, crush.
That's rough.
And then we had to tow it to the house, and it's in Nuevo right now. But
And you haven't touched it since.
That's weird.
Weird.
I discussed this with Kevin yesterday. He likes
Do you-
to take all the cool stuff he has and disperse it across the country and forget about it.
Yeah, don't you have a Talon somewhere too?
yeah, 91 Eagle Talon TSI in Philly,
He's got a
All-wheel
beautiful.
And the truck is where?
in Nuevo,
And then where's the other truck?
Where's the Ford?
PNW. But I have the Acura and the XJ at home, so there's two.
Oh, okay.
The
Cool,
sick.
So
cool.
The cool- the coolest-
40% of my vehicles
yeah,
are in
dude, that
California.
Acura fucks.
Yeah, that
Hey,
thing's
30 MPGs to daily drive to Pendleton, it fucks.
The MPGs, dog.
Yeah. VTEC, baby. Let's go.
Speaking of screw ups, Curtis, didn't your
That's a
can we talk about the screw up?
not an easy word to say.
Are we even allowed to say who it is? Is that allowed?
We'll just say we know a human being that's close to one of us.
You directed it right towards me.
Oh no, that was not what that was. That was different.
We just learned that if
If
you pour
this is a tech tip for everybody. This is just an FYI, something we know about.
let's be really clear that it wasn't me because
It was not. It was not.
I can't
Curtis.
afford something that nice or to ruin something
An
that nice.
undisclosed person.
Did
An
you do that on
undisclosed
purpose
human
again?
being. Huh?
So,
You do that on purpose again?
No, it's because of my weight. It slowly goes down.
Yeah, he's trying to get the pole to go through the chair.
Yeah, I'm fat.
Okay. Curtis, you've got the floor.
if
Sorry.
you take the DEF fluid in newer diesels and put it in the diesel tank on accident,
Now,
big-
before we go any
Or
further,
on purpose.
on those flaps, I've noticed on those Fords, when you open the cap, there's
Yep.
a hole and another hole.
yep, they're two different colors too.
How-
Two different
Yellow,
sizes.
green.
How often do you get your two holes confused?
Don't have any that are
Never.
that close
No?
to each other.
Really?
Just except my nostrils.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Do you go to
I
pick
mean-
one and thought you were picking the other one, or
this human being that we're not speaking the name of
great
put,
guy?
put how much DEF into his diesel tank?
Just one of those boxes, which I guess those boxes are about 2.5 gallons.
2.5 gallons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2.5 gallons of DEF into a diesel tank that had
That
how much
sup-
fuel in it?
This is where a lot of unenclosed answers come from.
I'm guessing not a lot of fuel.
Supposedly a half a tank of diesel,
Allegedly.
allegedly, versus 2.5 gallons of DEF.
How far did he get?
I get answers I can't really answer. Not far enough. Will ruin your entire fuel system on a new truck.
Damn.
Like,
Which costs how much to replace?
if it's a Ford, it's 17 grand.
So $17,000 fuck up. Just by having a bad
God, I
day.
keep using that word. Like
It's a fuck up,
mistake,
dude.
an oopsie.
That's an oopsie, but I'll tell it to his face he fucked up.
I mean, he'll admit it. I just, you know.
knows.
Well, that's like someone that wants to use the green pump for more efficient fuel for their Prius. You know, those two go together. It's equal.
But I mean, think about it, right? How
It's
many times have
green.
we all had like a bad day where you do something stupid?
Yeah.
Even just dumb like locking your keys in your car, right? Like this is that type of mistake. Like, oh
Yeah,
shoot,
you
oh shoot, I poured that in the wrong hole. Oh well, sorry, it's 17 grand, bro.
Yeah.
You done fucked up.
Pretty surprised at the
You know what?
dollar
The
amount
price
of that.
tag.
As soon as you make the mistake, as long as you don't start the car,
Yeah, that's true. If
It's
you
not that
realize,
big of a mistake.
This is where we learned it. Learned if you do it, don't drive it. Don't start it. Don't drive it. Don't even look at it.
Do we know though, like what happens? Is it ruining the actual components in there? Does it coagulate?
According
with
to the
fuel?
dealership, it ruined everything.
Okay, well,
Which
do we have anything
Like,
that's?
I don't know
I'm not a
enough.
Ford tech,
I mean,
so I
we've
don't know.
all been.
I,
Never mind. I won't say that.
I know that
There's probably a shade tree mechanic out there, some guy who works on diesels all the time who knows, nah, you just take these out, you clean them, and you do this. And you
yeah,
blow
there's
this line out.
probably like 100% like I'm sure half the stuff they replaced was probably unnecessary, but because it's the dealership
Yeah,
and they have to
absolutely.
cover,
They gotta cover their ass.
and you know, and again they're just kind of I mean.
But I mean,
Dealerships suck
$17K.
anyway.
What's the do-it-yourself? Hopefully, you get away
Well,
with
even
the
on that
cost.
too, like they were like, yeah, it's like 17 grand, and then they waited for like 2 weeks to get parts, and then they're like, it's gonna be done tomorrow, and he's like, how's that possible? It's still in the parking lot.
So here's a question.
Like,
when you,
it-
when you flood a dirt bike, right? So I hydrolocked my KX 250 back in the day in Beaumont, flipped it upside down, pulled the plug, hit the kicker, and just pumped everything out, right? Can you do something like that?
So here's the deal: on a new diesel, you can't just pull the plug. You know what you start with? Pull the cab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that.
Well, okay, so pull the cab.
And you're supposed to have
You
gas.
just pull the cab and just
pull the
crank it
cab at
over.
home.
You're
Yeah, why not?
supposed to have gas in a
Because
dirt bike.
now
you just
the
have too
entire
much of
body
it. This
harness is
something it's
detached
not.
from the truck.
That's
Kevin.
insane. I didn't know it was like that.
Yeah, so a lot of
Yeah,
modern
and
cars.
diesels don't work
You
that
see
way
how
either.
stern he gets with
Yeah,
me?
he gets angry. A lot of modern cars are
I show up, it starts.
are very difficult to work on because of how they make them, and they're not made to be serviced sometimes, right? They're just supposed to get
so
you a
Well,
250,000 miles and then throw it away. And
It's kind of crazy though, because from experience, like working on a like, at least for Fords, from what I've learned from like 06 and up, it's so much like everyone's like, oh my god, you have to pull the cab off. It's not hard, and not at all. Like you can print out like a 10-page essay on it, and it just takes you step by step. Like go unplug this, now that you unplug this, go unplug this. Like go
The
unbolt that.
cab or the bed?
cab.
Oh,
The
that's
cab.
gnarly.
It's all designed to be removed in like a somewhat efficient way, so that you can work on it way easier. Like 6-liter diesels, you can't take the cylinder heads off without removing the cab. And if someone knows how to do it, then you're dumb. Just take the cab off. Sorry. It
But
just
maybe
straight
it
honesty.
also comes to
Like-
how they can do it at home. Also, like not everyone has the manpower to help
Right.
lift the cab off, etc. So it may
Especially
be easy,
you.
but that's
If,
not true.
if one of my
68
friends
Bronco, I
called
pulled the
me
cab
and
off
asked me
when
to
it
do
lit on
any
fire.
of that kind of work to their car in their driveway, I would tell them to eat shit.
yeah,
That's
Wow.
gross.
And then
You
go
so-
there and sit back and watch them try. I wouldn't help at all.
I would argue that things have really changed, though. It's just my personal opinion that, like, obviously things on older vehicles are more mechanical and things on newer vehicles are not. That's the obvious, right? But I personally feel like there's almost like this weird shift towards, like, let's make it less user friendly so that the dealership ultimately still gets to work on it. Because now you have to have a
Absolutely.
special diagnostic tool to do this.
Oh,
Now
oh.
you
It's not
have to
even.
have-
It's not even that. Like you can go all the way back to where they don't even have dipsticks anymore, or like Mercedes and most European cars
Yeah.
coming from the transmission world, they have one dipstick for all their cars.
Well-
like you can't check the fluid. Like there's
Yeah.
a little tube and everything, and you pull it out. You go to like pull your dipstick out, and it's just a plug.
Yeah.
And there's nothing on the end of it, so you have to buy like a $200 dipstick, which no individual. You're
That's
not going to go buy
insane.
that.
Well, it's
Like,
because the computer is telling. There's a sensor in there that tells the computer how
well,
much
even
oil you have.
even earlier
So-
Mercedes and stuff don't even have that.
And we're going to get into the OBD2 stuff. I want to talk about that misinformation on OBD2. But real
Yeah.
quick before I forget, you guys are talking about the changes that are happening. Have you seen all the electric brake calipers now?
What?
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
have to like go into the computer
Yeah,
just
no
to
more
like.
hydraulic brakes. The future is electric brake calipers.
What an awesome time to rely on an electric device not failing on
Would
you.
that be the same as like my electric e-brake on my
Yeah.
F-150?
Yes.
Similar,
Okay,
yeah.
so I have to, when I do the
Ew.
rear brake pads on my F-150, I have to go into my steering wheel and I have to go and put in a whole sequence of things to disable that just to do my brake pads.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah.
How
It's
many
a pain in
electric
the-
It is
vehicles
a pain in the ass.
have you seen stuck on the side of the road because they can't put them in neutral to push them out of the way?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
happens.
A lot. I've seen probably 7.
Or if they catch
One
on
was even
fire,
last
they're-
week.
since
Yeah.
it's a lithium battery, they just have to let them burn to the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hazards
you
on.
can't
I was
pour
like,
water
hey,
on
dude,
that.
you need help? He goes, I can't do anything with my vehicle.
Yeah.
And he waited
Yeah, but
for a tow
like
truck.
mechanics, like, you know, I'm an ASC certified master tech. And I don't think I've renewed this last couple of years. So I'm probably out of date by a couple of years. Like I haven't recertified. Only because I'm not working on brand new BMWs and brand new Lexus and hybrids and electric cars. And that's not what I do anymore. So it just wasn't worth it for me to keep investing in that certificate. But I can only imagine the techs now what they have to go through to get certified. You got to take you got to take like serious electronics courses. You got to know how hybrid electronics work. You got to know how electric vehicles work.
Computer
And
engineer
now
type
you've got to
shit,
know
man.
how electric braking systems work because hydraulic braking is going to be a thing of the past. You know, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty wild. I mean, it's cool to see technology change and improve and how they do things. But, you know, for a guy my age who's been working on cars my whole life, it's really weird to see how much it's changed.
What about from the aspect of that mechanic? Usually, say, if someone were to be hired on here, hey, do you have your own tools, right? Wrenches, whatever. You do all the mechanical
He's like,
shit.
well, I got a laptop.
Yeah, exactly. Well, not only the laptop, but say you're, I know we're going to get into it, but your OBD2 reader and how much that was, how much specialty equipment for a basic EV mechanic are those things going to cost to where, hey, you just want a regular mechanic job working on those types of things, but kind of like you need a $100,000 tool or collectively $100,000 worth of stuff, but it's like 3 items to work on those things. Like,
Well,
that's crazy, man.
There is a law that you have to be paid double minimum wage as a mechanic, and I doubt there's been any amendments quite yet as far as if that's different, whether you are specializing in, you know, electrical vehicles or not, but I wouldn't be surprised in the future if that is, you know, you have to be paid triple minimum wage. This is California, by the way, just California. I don't know about other states, but
Yeah, California's got some weird laws.
Yeah.
So I don't know if to go back to the OBD2 misinformation, OBD2, so onboard diagnostic. This is how mechanics go in and plug their computers into your car and read what your computer's saying and figure out what's going on. Your check engine light comes on, you go to your mechanic, he plugs into that port. There was OBD1 back in the day, and then late 96, beginning of 97-ish, we went to OBD2. And that's been the standard in the United States. It's a standard everybody agreed on that all the manufacturers have to supply this universal port that everybody can plug into and check what's wrong with your car. So you basically making the manufacturers not be able to completely lock you out and not get your car serviced somewhere, right? So the problem I have is, I don't know if these are still floating around, but there were videos floating around of people coming on, you know, Instagram or whatever, saying, "Hey, I went and bought my OBD2 reader. You get it online, you plug it in, you get the app for your phone, and I never have to go to a mechanic again." You know, I get it, right?
it's cute.
But this so does not work that way. And for all of you out there who know how it works, I'm going to be redundant for you, but for those of you who don't know how it works, if you plug in your OBD2 and you use your app on your phone and it gives you, say, O2 sensor bank 1, sensor 1. You're like, oh, I'm just going to go to O'Reilly. I'm going to buy bank 1, sensor 1, and I'm going to screw it in and plug it in, and bang, problem solved.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
not a fucking chance, man. I mean, it can be the O2 sensor. Yes, it absolutely
Sure.
can be.
Which is still mad money.
Yeah, it could be that where the O2 sensor screws into the exhaust, it's a little bit loose and it's sucking air in. It could be a chafed wire. It could be a bad plug that's been next to the exhaust and it's got hot and cracked and it's not getting a good connection anymore. It could be, I've seen where it's a bad internal solder on a computer board inside the PCM. Like, it just gives the mechanic a place to start. Is
Half
all
of
it's
being a
doing.
mechanic
Yeah.
is diagnostic work, and a computer will never be able to do
Never.
that. It might be able to show you where to start, but it will never be able to do the hands-on leg work that
Yeah.
needs to be done to diagnose certain types of issues.
Yeah, so I'm okay with everybody having one, right? You should have one. You should know how to diagnose your car. You should know how to say, okay, I'm going to take it to my mechanic, and I know this is the code, and it's going to be something in this system. And then that way, when you go to the mechanic and he calls you and says, oh, your starter's crap and you need a new transmission, you can go, well, then why did I have an O2 sensor code, right? You at least have some dialogue, right? So I get it. Educate yourself, but just understand that that's not how it works. It's so much more complex than that.
Yeah.
The OBD2 reader that I have, the one that I specifically have, is about 2 clicks down from the top of the line from Snap-on. It's not the top of the line. It's like 2 clicks down. And it was, when I bought it, $3,000, $4,000. I have to spend $1,000 a year to keep it up to
Just
date.
to keep it updated.
So that it's correct for all the new vehicles coming in. We work on Jeeps here, right? So Jeep, JK's, we'll start at JK. TJ's had OBD2. They're pretty easy, but you really can't do anything with those PCMs. We have HP Tuner, which is a whole other program that we can go in and tune cars with. But on the TJs, there's just not a lot to do, right? So you just kind of leave those alone. But JKs, we can go in actually with our HP Tuner, and we can program them. We put new gears in them. We put bigger tires on them. We have to reflash the computer until it has bigger tires, has different gears, so that the speedometer works correctly and the transmission shifts right. That's why we do it. You can buy your own personal programmers for those things as well, and they marry to a specific car. We offer here at Bent Motorsports is that, hey, don't buy that if you don't want. You just come to us for all the work, and then we'll just do it for you every time. You change your tires, you buy the tires from me, I'm just gonna change it for you for free, right? It's like part of the gig. If it's a brand new JL, however, and you're in a JL or a JT, any of the new platform vehicles, I have to, for my Snap-on tool, if I want to so we have on OBD, the easiest way to say it is there's backdoor information and front door information, right? There's information that they want the consumer to see, and then there's information that they want the text to see, right? So your OBD2 reader that you go buy at your local store or on Amazon is only going to give you that front door information. It's going to give you very basic data. Whereas I plug my Snap-on tool in that I'm paying Fiat Chrysler $500 a year to get an access key to the backdoor information.
I was going to say an important piece of information, too, to try and kind of steer people away from spending money you don't need to. Is even if you go and buy one of these, like Harbor Freight, diagnostic tools or OBD2, whatever it may be, do you even have access to a lot of the modern production vehicles? I mean,
No.
you don't, right?
You don't.
Yeah, a lot of them will literally just, and even if it does, if you get something out of it, you're not going to get all of it because cars have so many systems now. So you have just your regular engine management stuff, but then it probably won't tell you if you've got a transmission problem. It won't tell you if you have an ABS code. It won't be able to it won't be able to look at any of that stuff.
It's not going to look at the BCM stuff. So what's a modern JL have? 3 or 4 computers? I can't remember.
Oh, enough.
But the OBD2 is only going to give you access to the one. It's not going to get you into all the other ones,
Yeah,
right?
it's going to very lightly let you know that you have a check engine light on and
Right.
maybe what it is.
Right.
I mean, even if it's got a transmission code, it'll just be like P0700. You have
Right.
a problem.
Exactly. It's going to be a generic
That's
code.
it.
You're going to Google it, and it's going to tell you whatever.
With Googling things, how many times with our Jeep shop, Bent Motorsports sign facing the highway, do we get people coming in the back door being like, hey, I have this check engine light on, and you whip out that giant Snap-on tool, whatever, and you go tell them
Yeah.
what the problem is, and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you.
Yeah, it happens a lot, and
Yeah, all
and
the
it's
time.
and it's fine if you guys have a check engine light. Just come by, I'll check it for you for free, whatever. I'll check it for you. When we do, say you come in and we do a gear job or a tire size change, there is a fee on the JLs and JTs where it's $100 for us to reprogram your car because it costs me. I have to buy a license for that new car. So I gotta ask for permission, and then I have to buy it, and so I pass that cost on to you, the consumer. But what I do as soon as I've done that, I've got you now. I've got your VIN in my system. You can come back to me, change your gears again, change your tires again, do whatever you want, and I'm gonna change it for free for you, right? Because you're already in my system now. So it's a one-time thing, and then forever and then on, I'm gonna be able to program for you, right? You can also go buy who makes them. There's who make
What do we do?
the flash calibrators that you can
I think,
buy.
I think AEV makes them.
AEV makes one.
I had a client telling me the other day that like there's like this like Z-Mod off-roader one or something like
Yeah.
that. He was telling me that thing's like the bee's knees when it comes to them.
Yeah, so if you're super into doing it yourself,
yeah.
then definitely go buy one of those because they're really rad.
Yeah.
Then you can change things
They'll
all
let
by
you go
yourself.
past like I mean he was telling me like oh it's got a thing where you hold 2 buttons on your steering wheel and it'll line lock a wheel or it'll do
Yeah,
this or that.
yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's super cool. So you can do like weird dig stuff with your Jeeps and
Yeah.
pretty neat.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
I need to
really
buy a
cool.
new Jeep to do that now then, or the
But
Bronco.
but if you're the kind of
it's gonna
guy
be
who,
one of the first things I get when my truck shows up.
but if you're just the kind of guy who just gonna get tires and gears and you're done and you don't need to be messing with everything else, then we can take care of it. You don't got to go buy a ProCal or any of those
Yeah.
kits.
You got to forget you're leaving out like the most painful part about it with all the new Jeeps.
Yeah.
You have to take your hand, shove it up underneath the dash of the Jeep, cut your hand open 10 times to unplug 2 very painful connectors.
I did that.
See,
Yeah.
that was like one of the first things we taught her to do when she started working here was.
I have little.
Because she has tiny little hands.
You have been initiated.
Are you taking
She's taking orders.
Sorry. Anyway, but yeah,
I love
on the
cut
on all the
Can we take a cut water break really quick?
on all the
Cutwater break.
Or not?
JLs and
We're just
JTs
gonna
and stuff,
move
you
on.
have to shove your hand up inside this
I'm good.
little crevice. That was mine.
Well, she can get you another one.
What if
Cutwater
I wanted
10.
That what if I wanted that one?
Yeah. So what are we drinking tonight? We got a mango margarita. We got
official
this is the big
lemonade.
popular one, the whiskey lemonade.
It is delicious.
We're already out actually.
I've got a pina colada.
Here, Curtis, since that's the only one you like,
It's
you
not
can
the
give me
only one I
something
like.
else.
It's just the
You
one
want
I
mango?
prefer.
Something lighter. I just had one of those police.
Get him
I was in the middle of saying something in this way.
Yeah, I'll take a vodka.
I'm
That's good.
always
Vodka.
listening
Yeah.
to you.
That's
Is
horse.
everyone else okay?
What'd you say?
We're
All good.
I hate you.
Thank you. These are all great.
So yeah. So anyways, I just like to take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? I mean, I definitely promote people being self-reliant, getting your own tools and using them, but just understand them. There is no magic cure to just plug into your car and go, this is what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
You have to be a diagnostic person. You have
I-
to be able to figure things out.
I used to get that all the time working at like a general automotive shop. Not so much here because we kind of stray away from those those stupid yellow lights in the first place.
Yeah.
But I mean, you get people that come in and go, "Why do you want to charge me time just for you to stare at your computer? That's going to tell you the answer." And it's like, no, it's not.
It's
not
going
at
to tell
all.
me where
Like,
to start.
Gonna tell you where to
all
start.
it is
Yeah.
starts it, and then even then, if I pull up all the data that it's showing on me, are you gonna be able to tell me what that's telling me when I turn it towards you and go, okay, here's what your truck's doing,
Preach.
like all the time, and
Yeah.
and no one would understand it. And then again, it's when you end up buying the top of the line nicest Snap-on or Mako or whatever you want to buy, you're $25,000-$30,000.
Oh yeah.
But how
and-
often do you also explain that actual information that you're talking about to the customer or to the person that came
So that-
by
Every
they
single
understand?
time.
No, but that's good though.
No, it's good,
Because
and this is our-
they understand that you're not throwing them around, right? It
Well, it was
just
always more like an
solidifies the integrity
explanation
of
that you had to
David.
make. It wasn't like in my opinion, like 80% of those people will come in and argue with you about it. The other 10 will be like, I totally get it because
Yeah.
this guy has an entire facility to take care of,
Yeah.
and he's probably using some insane tool to help fix my car. Because when you're in a newer generation car, you're not just smacking the float bowls and turning screws on the carburetor anymore.
Yeah. Now, and to expand on what Kevin's talking about right now, from the Bent Motorsports point of view, the way I've grown my business and the way I deal my business, I'm not a standard run-of-the-mill maintenance facility where we're just slamming brakes on cars and getting them in and out, and my techs have quotas and any of that crap, right? We're a specialty shop that does specialty work, and we are never going to make something up and lie to you about anything. So our biggest thing here, and we've talked about it, Curtis and I, is educating our customers, right? Making sure our customers understand what's going on, why it's going on, and how to get them to understand, change, right? Because they've been screwed over before, right? Everybody's been screwed over by a mechanic. So how can we make you understand that we're not here to do that?
Yeah,
We
try-
actually want to go wheeling with you. So the last thing I want is for you to break down on the trail because of some shit I did. Like I want your shit to work, and I
Plus,
want
you'll
you
be
to,
fixing it
yeah.
anyway.
Why would I want to fix it on the trail?
Yeah.
I would rather just fix it here for you. Like we when we talk to you, we're going to shoot straight with you. We're going to tell you exactly what's going on and why it's going on, and we have no ulterior motive other than to make your shit work great and go wheeling, and hopefully we can go with you, right, and have a great time.
Even when we do go wheeling, think about the Rubicon alone. How many vehicles we stopped? Every
We stopped
single
and
vehicle
fixed-
that was disabled,
Yeah.
we were there.
We
And
stopped
were
and
pulling
fixed at least
starters,
a half a dozen
everything.
vehicles the last time we were there.
Yeah.
And because we're not just going to drive by somebody's broke
Yeah.
down.
They're like,
we
"Who
stop,
are you? Where
we break
are
out our
you?"
welder,
And-
we break out our grinders, we
Did
start.
you charge them anything for that?
No.
No, they ask
No,
who
they-
we
If
are
that doesn't
and where we
speak-
are, and
If
that's-
that doesn't speak
they come
volumes, I
back.
don't know what
Okay,
does.
one
about
guy
it.
one guy gave us beers.
That's
And we
fair.
took and we
Yeah.
took them.
But like,
Absolutely,
We took them.
That's different. But it's not like a quick 5-minute fix. Like we spent hours.
Hours on the
You
trail.
were guiding through one of the squeezes, right, with that down tree.
Yeah, yeah.
Jake's welding on this giant rock. I think the picture is. on
say, I
our
think there's a
Instagram
picture
I
or
love
something
that,
like
dude.
that.
Yeah.
It's his bio picture on
Yeah,
our website.
it's-
Yeah.
It's just real. The information is real. The people are real. The output of product is real, and that's what we thrive on.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to ask us questions. We're here to answer them.
And we are the industry professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also, since we're talking about it, our podcast is now primarily we're trying to do video on every one of our podcasts. So we know we have a lot of audio listeners out there who are listening to us on Pandora, Hulu, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever they are. Did I say Hulu? It's like the same exact logo as Spotify. I
We'll be
feel.
on
So
Hulu
close.
someday if you
So,
keep
anyways,
following.
all those ones that are audio, which we still post them up there, you're more than welcome to listen to them there. But if you go to YouTube and you click on it and then just put your phone in your pocket or whatever and listen like you normally do, but just use the YouTube link, it really helps us. And while you're there, subscribe because that's how this is all going to keep going. Is if you guys like what we're bringing you, it's really helpful when you subscribe. And there's a lot of parameters that we have to meet, and YouTube is the way we're going to do it. So if you guys can listen to us through YouTube, that would be amazing. We'd love that.
Well, I think there's more interaction with that also because on a Spotify podcast, or it's easier to listen to Bent Motorsports podcast while you're driving under
Yeah.
that circumstance. Right?
Sure, and I understand that.
And we ask or have started to ask questions on like what you guys want to see, what are you interested in, what do you have questions about,
And absolutely leave a comment if
yes,
you have
through
something to say
YouTube,
to that,
you
please.
comment and we'll make the video. We'll give you the information that you need. I think one day, we sometimes like to have an audience, but I think bringing sometimes people that may be more local or willing to come on and create dialogue that way, like just
Yeah.
like I said,
Yeah.
we're authentic.
Well, and
we
we're
wanna
all
answer
moderating
questions.
those things. So we're the ones who are answering you. It's not my son sitting in the back who's dealing with it. We're the ones answering it. And you can even ask us in the comment, who am I talking to? And it might be this is Hannah or this is Kevin or this is David or this is Curtis, right? It could be any of us, and whoever happens to be seeing the comment that day and answering quicker. It could be any of us. So you can always say, hey, who am I talking to? And we'll tell you, and we can have a conversation. It's fun for us, right? We
Yeah.
want to know what you think. It's important to us.
And with all that being said, I mean, it might already be obvious that we're clearly putting a lot more effort into, the whole kind of production as a whole recently. We're revamping stuff. We're doing better with our podcast. We're getting everything up and going. It's a huge goal of ours to kind of keep this moving forward. So if you've been with us thus far, it means more to every single person here than you will ever understand to have your support thus far. And if you want to stick with us and watch us grow, right now, the best thing you can do to help us out is get to our YouTube. Watch it there to help us with our watch hours and to give us a subscribe, a like, a comment, something like that. That's pretty big to us right now. So
We'll also potentially broadcast invitations. So I know that you guys have talked previously, I think maybe 2 podcasts or maybe more specifically the one about the Netflix show premiering on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And one of our events,
Tex-Mex Motors.
Tex-Mex Motors, and on our webpage as well, under the events tab, you can see that we are actually going to host the premiere here at Bent Motorsports. So that's just another opportunity to meet us if you don't already know us, hang out with us, and watch one of the secret shows that the guys were working on in Texas, which I think is pretty rad. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why the Jakes and Drew are not here right now, is
Yep.
because they're in LA doing another show.
Correct.
And they couldn't be with us for the podcast.
So this will be post-production when you watch this, obviously, but Hannah and I will be focused on posting this podcast on YouTube. Hopefully tomorrow we can maybe finalize the details, publish it, and give you guys a couple days opportunity to.
Yeah, because we'd love anybody
come
who's
hang out.
local, come by. I mean, if you're not local and you want to fly out here, that'd be fucking sick.
For sure,
But-
buy you a
We'll
beer
not
if you do
cover the
that.
tab.
Yeah.
I'm not paying for it, but that would be sick. You know what? I got folding shovels in the lobby. If you fly here from somewhere, you can have a folding shovel.
hell yeah, dude.
Tex-Mex It's called Tex-Mex Motors. It's on Netflix, and it comes out Friday the 9th. So if you can't make it to hang out with us here at the shop, for sure watch it at home. Tell us what you think. It's kind of should be a fun show.
When they're done working on the second show,
We'll let you know what that
we'll
one
do
is.
another premiere
Yeah.
barbecue, whatever on that. So
I
check
wanted-
the events page on bentmotorsports.com and come hang out with us.
I wanted to talk more about it because we kind of like hinted last time at some of the like some of the Netflix secrets, and we didn't because we weren't sure, right? And then we posted that podcast, and the very next day, Netflix posted the trailer for the show that we're talking about.
Yeah.
So we've kind of got free range to like spill a couple
So, yeah,
secrets
so, I mean,
now.
well, let's just tell the
but
premise,
maybe
right?
we should wait a little bit.
Do you
for
need a cough
Jake.
drop? Do you need a cough drop?
I just have been smoking cigars for years. Okay, leave me alone.
Oh
I think you need some water.
Yeah.
Water. She's a water.
Give me a glass of water, Kevin.
Ma, fucking A.
How's your knee?
How's your
My
knee?
mom will
How's
give you
your
some
knee?
water. By the way, her knee's better. So
Is
So-
it?
Oh, I'm
That's
so
good to
bad for
hear.
your
So
mom.
is David's.
That's real
My
good to
knee was
hear.
hurt too.
my
David's-
mom has a lot of problems. But
His
So
mom.
Tex-Mex
doing good.
and Tex-Mex
Typical mom.
Motors. I don't know if we gave you enough of a last time, but anyways, the premise of the show is that we are in El Paso, Texas, and the group of guys running this shop would go across the border into Juarez and find old cars or different cars, and they'd bring them back across to Texas, and they would restore them and then sell them. And it was like flipping these cars, but they were finding them down in Mexico and then bringing them back. So, and again, we're not on the show. We're just ghost mechanics. We are just the guys who work the graveyard
You guys
shift.
are the backbone of the TV.
You guys
Yeah,
make
we're just
stuff.
the
Let's be
graveyard.
real.
You guys-
Yeah.
The graveyard shift that actually works on. I mean, the hosts work on the cars too, but not as vigorously as we do. But
Yeah.
They're not doing it at 2 a.m.
No. I mean, as you know,
Revenue
everybody
flying.
everybody has a job on TV, right? And our job was to shut up and build shit fast. So
what
that's
you're
what we
good
did.
at.
on the previous podcast, you guys talked about the scheduling that was originated, and then how every week or every 2 weeks it was modified to where they wanted you out there. And it's not to talk down on anyone who was physically there, but I think the amount of work that presented itself as the time went on.
Yeah.
I'm not a TV fucking guy. Like, I don't
No.
know how all that stuff works, but you guys were crucial in
Well,
that, which is super rad.
The thing is, right, with them, I mean, as with everything in the world, time is money. But in the TV world, time is money on a whole different level.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Time is like almost unrealistic.
Yeah,
here.
it's
Like,
unrealistically
What do you
wild,
mean
right?
you have 24 hours in a day? We want 16.
Yeah.
Like-
So when we would go in Excel, they would just adjust their budget accordingly and go, well, if you guys can work this fast, then why don't you just be here this more often, and then we'll get done this more early, and then the budget will be this more lower, and everybody's happy. So just do that, okay? And we're like, okay, we will do that, and it's fun. It was such a great
That's what you
experience.
guys do anyway, even here.
Yeah,
Just-
it's super fun. So I'm stoked. I hope some people get to make it out and visit us here and watch it with us.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see, what it looks like. It's gonna be fun.
If
Doors
you
will be
do-
open, right, David?
Yeah.
Doors will be
Anyone?
open.
We
Anybody
gonna-
can come in.
We gonna bring the ramp out, maybe?
Yeah, maybe I'll get the flex ramp out, and you guys can flex
You
your
know.
vehicles, and
Come by,
Yeah.
bring your Jeep.
yeah, we'll see how much flex you got.
If you do want any more info on it, the TV show in general, since we've been talking about it a lot, it's all linked on our website as well. If you go to the events tab, I have got the trailer for the show linked there, and you can get all the info.
And are we going to talk about another podcast coming up that we might do?
Yeah. So speaking of us kind of like branching out with the media stuff, we're working on it. If you can't already tell, LSK Suspension, they do a lot of side by side and like weld it yourself kits,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So they're up in the Fontana area, so they're not too far away. They're doing a podcast that's killing it. They just interviewed Wilkie and Kevin, his Fab guy, and Corrosive, and they're killing it. They're doing a good job. They're tapping into the off-road scene. We've kind of got like a similar thing going on, so I think we're gonna do kind of like a interview each other type podcast, see what's up with that. So
Yeah, I think we'll go up there maybe first and
Yeah.
be on their podcast, and hopefully we can con them to come in down here. I mean, we have
Yeah.
a bar. It's the best way we get people in here. We say, hey, we're sponsored
Yeah.
by Cutwater, and we have a
Free
full
booze.
bar.
Yeah.
So
I have a
that's-
question, kind of, because I'm unfamiliar with the whole Razor scene, right? I believe
Well, they do
I've
also
seen-
full-size Chevy and
Yeah, they
everything
do.
else.
long
Yeah.
travel
They do a lot
stuff,
of
right?
stuff.
Long
I
travel.
know
Yeah.
I've seen LSK on some long travel stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've seen them rip for sure.
yeah, they're big.
That's right.
Yeah, they show up with their pants off. They fuck for sure.
Oh yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, but if
LSK
they were
fucks.
wearing off the grid pants, they would.
Is that what we're supposed to do? We're supposed to start showing
See
up
what I
our
did
pants
there?
off? It
My
makes it
pants
cooler?
aren't on right. Oh no, my pants are on right.
Whoa.
Sometimes
Are they?
I don't know. Like at home, pants are never on. So I get
Yeah.
confused sometimes.
I'm more alarmed that I looked to check.
I saw Curtis's hand go under the table.
She's like, David might not have. Nope, he
Yeah.
has them on. You never know with me.
I wouldn't
No.
be. Yeah, I'd be impressed actually.
3 or
If
4
the
more
match-
cut waters, pants come right off.
It's true.
Dude.
Cut waters, hot tub, pants off.
Cutwater will do it to you.
Yeah, I'm not allowed back to Todd's house. What are you going to do? All right,
Anyway.
well, have we covered it all? Is that it for now? I think so, because we're
Yeah,
not talking
You have
about our
something to
10th
say? You had a
anniversary
face
yet.
that said,
No. I was gonna say we could talk about the score race that's going on right now down in
Oh,
Ensenada.
oh,
if,
yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah,
want
yeah.
to, but we don't have to. We can end here. We can save that for next time.
Yeah, we'll save that for next time, because
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell's going on with it.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
not a clue.
All I saw this weekend was some guy in motocross get his arm ripped backward. Pow,
Ooh,
popped.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was on the start. He they were going and he fell off the bike and then a front wheel hit it
Oh.
right here and his arms went picking.
And that's why we have cages, boys
I
and
just watched
girls.
that.
Yeah.
Wrong way around.
The only thing I know about that is there's been a lot of first-time winners or people who haven't been winning recently, whether it's mechanical failures, etc. But supposedly all the score stuff is like popping right now. Everyone's killing it, and
Well,
we should all go down to Baja. Get your century passes.
I know Nick and
Because I don't
his.
wanna
I
go
know the
down
team
alone
that Nick
anymore.
was racing on.
I got kicked
they,
out of Baja. I'm not allowed to back it there.
They finished. I
Well,
know
you're
that.
bald now, so it'll be fine.
I'm what now?
500.
Bald.
What makes you think he wasn't bald then?
You see how beautiful this man's hair was before? You see the old picture of him and Shelly when he had the barbecue at his house?
I literally told David the other day that looking at photos of him when he's younger, I think he's more attractive now than he was when he was
For
younger.
sure. Dude, your forehead shrank like 4 inches, too.
Dude, there's just something,
Why is this
something
chair
about
keep
it.
going down?
Seriously,
Does it
because
keep
I
going
am in
down,
this,
or do you
I'm in
keep
the
going
same
down?
chair, and I am
It's a joke.
definitely
All of ours
like
were
40
going
pounds
up.
heavier than you. And I'm chilling.
I think Hannah's reaching over and hitting the lever.
I think so. I think she's.
Either that or she's helping
All
him
right,
take his
guys, it's
pants
been
off.
great. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
He's done.
I'm done.
He's
You guys
done.
are on your own.
That chair needs a reseal.
Yeah. I'm outta here.
Do it one more time, just for the fans, would you?
All right, one more time.
One more time. Give it to us. Do it real quick, like.
I'm going to zoom in on your face and do this.
You ready?
How does he make it disappear without? You don't even clench. Like nothing.
Ooh!
He smiles.